I'm atomic.
What is going on, my fellow 4-1 digit people? Yes, me and you, we're 4-1 and we're chopped, indeed. But check it, today we got the embassy in the shadows, mainly that boy Cid Cogno and Shadow. So without further ado, let's start this shit. All right, check it. Anime begins with us seeing this black-haired chick who enters the frame just to completely talk shit about Cid. Like, damn, he didn't even get introduced yet. Talking about him being an average boy with average looks, average grade, and even an average life. I'm not even gonna lie, Shotty is all over his body. Relax. They end up talking for a bit and she got pissed at the fact that he called her by her wrong name. Cid ends up saying, weren't you technically a named NPC? See, this is what my parents be talking about when I'm playing video games for too long, bro. This guy's out here calling humans NPCs in real life. Log off. You could just tell by Cid's eyes that the only thing he does when he gets back home is game and goon, bro. Just look at him, bro. He's not there. Black-haired chick is actually a famous actor who comes from a rich family, while Cid is just considered a side character in this story. Since she was a famous young actor though, that obviously came with a lot of upsides but a good amount of downsides. She ended up having to take a break from acting due to this weird ass dude stalking her. And damn, that boy Cid knows how to play the piano. I just had to mention it there, I'm sorry. Night approaches and she ends up leaving school, but her driver isn't picking up the phone. She decides to walk home, but something is off. Out of nowhere, this tall ass dude pops up, while on the other side a car pulls up and another guy pops out and knocks her ass out too. These goons are holding her for ransom just to get some extra bread, but throughout this whole time Cid was actually watching over her. But sadly, these goons already fucked up because a hero is here, out here moving like vigilante Deku. Bro came through the window crashing down wearing a mask, calling himself the stylish ruffian slayer. I'm not even gonna cap, his name is 100% giving me Bakugo vibes, but I digress. One of the guys instantly bring out their gun, but just for Cid to throw a glass shard on his finger, instantly dropping his gun, and then charges to punch him, in which he knocks his ass out. Then the other goon drops his gun and oh shit, bro ended up pulling out a shank. Okay, maybe we're gonna see something interesting now. And on top of that, he was even able to get a good hit off of the hero. But of course, the hero is on that timing. He got his own weapon, which is a crowbar. And low-key, a lot of people might look at that weapon and think, how can a weapon like this be better than a shank? Well, he's gonna prove you wrong right now. Goon ends up throwing straight hands, but then stylish ruffian slayer has the bright idea to throw his crowbar mid-air, flipping it on its other side just to charge in and slash his arm with it. Bro's out here moving like a HOA Karen, bro. He's cleaning up the streets, making sure all these goons know who's the boss. And damn, I know that shit hurt. Ooh, the stylish ruffian slayer ends up beating this guy up so badly that he's explaining to him how he's going to get his ass beat while beating his ass, bro. Damn. And eventually the fight ends, in which he comes out as the victor as he breaks her ties and ties up the other guys and completely vanishes. Now that's aura, I won't lie. Sadly though, the very next morning, that boy Cid ended up getting his ass smashed by a truck. Damn. Typical isekai death though, I won't even lie. And that concludes the anime. Oh, apparently bro was reincarnated into this magic world and now he's running a whole secret organization group.
Man, fine shit still hasn't called my motherfucking phone all day. Oh shit. Hello Alpha, what you doing?
Everything you said ended up being true, my lord. I found more about the ancient Diablos. What can we do about this, my lord?
Alpha, we lurk in the shadows because we are the shadows. Lock in, twin.
Bro pretty much had a redo in his life and was now reincarnated into this rich ass noble family. That ugly ass cry too, bro. You're not faking anyone with that shit. During the day, he's just a normal background character, while his sister takes all the glory and is the strongest one in the family. But at night, he runs an organization in which he just gets to do a bunch of crazy shit and kill people. But hey, at least he's not evil. Dude's like 8 years old, dodging bullets and killing criminals. Hell no, if I saw someone like that, I'm running. I give up, I surrender, but shit, I might even still die. Even stopping this grown man attack, bro, how are you losing to a kid? Well shit, actually, I see why. I don't blame him. I would have pissed myself already, but I digress. He ends up seeing this blob creature that apparently is cursed, and then randomly, because he kept putting magic into it every single day, it ended up transforming into this elf girl, and it instantly gets into character. Bro was completely lying his ass off, saying that the one behind all of this is the cult of Diablos. And then we could kind of see that he's focusing on an old bottle of alcohol, and it's literally the same name he just said. Oh nah. And eventually he creates the name Shadow for himself, as well as creating the organization Shadow Garden, and the girl's name is Alpha. A few years go by and we see a clip of Cid training with his sister. Despite the fact that he knows he can beat the hell out of her, he knows that it really wouldn't be side character like to do something like that. So of course he accepts the whipping. But then his sister ends up getting kidnapped, so now Cid has to find a way to get his sister back. Bro's organization grew from a two-man show to a full group. Damn, he didn't even have to do anything. It was all Alpha's doing. He ends up finding where his sister is located and almost fucked up his bluff, but of course Beta ate that shit straight up. Also, the funny thing about the cult of Diablos is surprisingly it's actually a real thing, so I just had to mention that because this guy tried to lie it off, but shit, it's actually legit. This guy ends up taking this pill, which ended up increasing his strength, and just before they can get more info off of him, he ends up escaping, but they already know Shadow's down there already. So as soon as the guy gets down there, he charges after him just for him to block his attack with the tip of his sword. Bro is giving him lessons while beating his ass, bro. Lock in. He's piecing you up.
And ooh.
What the hell did he transform into, bro? This guy looking like Sam Sulek, but with more steroids. Ew. And he's still getting his ass beat. Regardless though, Shadow is still slashing the fuck out of him, and of course he's doing that shit with straight precision and style. Bro's still thinking that he's fighting a regular bandit, but deep down this guy is literally a part of a whole criminal organization. On top of that, he didn't even bother breaking his sister out at the end. Bro just left her there to find her own way back home. Oh nah. And eventually she does leave for school, while Cid still has to wait 2 more years to actually go to the same school as her. But then Alpha and the rest of the girls ended up saying they have to leave. And apparently the Call of Diablos is a huge group that runs on a global scale, so they ended up separating so they can fight it and slowly reunite eventually. And still, he doesn't believe it's real, but I feel like due time, he's eventually gonna realize everything that he lied about was actually true. We also found out the way that Cid died, and I'm not gonna lie, this shit was cruel. I don't know why he was doing that to himself. He ended up bashing his head with a rock and then started acting crazy and ran into the road just to get hit by a truck. You good? Time eventually moves on and Cid is now 15 and is now going to this rich ass private school. God dang. Even the friends that he has in the school give background character vibes, and honestly they fit that perfectly. Even Cid. They actually made a bet. Whoever gets the lowest grade on the test has to ask the princess of the school on a date. And let's see how bro actually does it. Oh shit. She actually said yes to bro. Okay, boy. Okay, I feel you, bro. I see you. I see you. Even these two monkeys are in disbelief that Cid even had a chance to even speak to her. But honestly, I can't really relate because your boy over here, yeah, a 10 out of 10, 24/7. I don't even gotta do shit, bro. The girls just walk up to me. They felt that aura from a distance. Damn, she even decided to sit with them and even started flexing her rich ass food. And shit, I don't even blame bro. He dived right in because it looks good as hell. And she's just as crazy as him too. He ends up getting invited to her fencing class and they ended up sparring, and of course he doesn't like the way she fights at all. And the only reason this girl is actually dating Cid in the first place is just so she can use him to avoid marrying this other dude. And of course Cid is not having this shit at all. She also finds out the only reason Cid asked her out in the first place is because him and his friends made a bet on whether or not she was gonna say yes or no to ask her out. So now she's basically blackmailing him to stay in his relationship. She's still tossing the dough, so you know that boy Cid is still going in, you feel me? And shit, you're absolutely right. I'll do the same thing. Is he even barking? Shit, I don't know about that. Sadly though, their relationship comes to an end, and now apparently she is missing, and Cid is the #1 suspect of this because he was the last one to see her that night. We see Alexia trapped underground right next to what seems to be this creature. Oh, look at that back. Damn, giant ass bump. This cuckoo ass scientist ended up kidnapping her just so he can get access to her royal blood, since his demon blood blood. While this is going on, Cid ends up being held in custody as they continue beating the fuck out of him just so they can get some info off of him. They even strip bro naked. Is this legal? And shit, I'm not even gonna lie, this low-key has me feeling bad for bro because he didn't even do anything, but of course it doesn't really matter to Cid because he's a side character. He's a D1 actor too, of course. Each one of those blows are not even doing anything to him, but at the same time, can we be honest, he's a student. How is this allowed right now? They even continued their search to find her, even Cid's sister trying to vouch for her brother, but of course they don't give a shit. And finally, after beating his ass for a whole week, they eventually release Cid, and the shit has already begun. As soon as Cid gets into his room, he sees Alpha just stunning her aura by the window, and man,
Back up, like what is she doing?
I damn near thought Shawty has lost her fucking mind. Wait, huh? Where did bro get all this shit from? The fit is clean, I won't lie, the fit is doing what it's supposed to do in the room. Shit. And obviously, it's not just me eating this shit straight up. Delta's also eating this shit too, bro. She knows that fit's clean. Cid ends up going outside just for two bodies to fall on the floor. And then these two end up getting their arms sliced off clean. Lame ass dudes getting beaten so easily, bro. While we see Delta and the rest of them go crazy as well. This dumbass scientist ends up injecting this creature with this magic boost just for his ass to die in the process. But then the monster frees Alexia just before it lost its mind. And then we see, ain't that the dude she's supposed to marry? This guy's a part of the cult? Oh, hell no. They ended up fighting as soon as bro mentions her name, but sadly she is no match for bro, making her do a whole 360 before hitting the water. But now, the real hero of the night, and I'm not talking about Batman, no, not him too, I'm talking about Shadow. And instantly Shadow and this dude start fighting, and of course this shit is one-sided. Bro is way too weak for him. Oh nah. The monster continues to rampage across the whole kingdom while Iris is trying to find a way to fight it, but sadly she is not good enough. So eventually Alpha pulls up just to handle that shit so easily, teleporting in the sky and erasing this shit from history. Damn, that's the same girl that we saw from that guy's photo. Shit. And as the fight comes to its conclusion, Alpha eventually fades into the smoke. Damn. Shadow continues his fight with this Brody, of course, but despite this guy continues amping his magic, but this shit is not helping him at all. All this talking smack and you're still losing, bro. Can you please lock in? All bark, no bite. And oh shit, bro even ended up taking the steroid pills. The whole bottle too. Out here looking like the lion dude from Black Clover. Let's see if he actually got stronger. Oh, never mind. Bro was still getting his ass knocked completely up, on top of summoning this bullshit. And oh nah, he's still on that timing too.
Goodbye, my nigger. Back to the lobby.
And just like that, bro vanished and saved the day. Man, me, Marlon, and Shadow, we out here ore farming and shit, bro. You guys need to lock in with us for real. The morning approaches and apparently Shawty got attached to Cid, but of course he ain't trying to deal with this crazy ass chick no more and rejects her. Damn, is he good? Funny enough, Cid doesn't understand the fact that because of his influence, the main members of Shadow Garden eventually create successful businesses based off stories that he told. They even have a throne for him, bro. I know his ego is going through the roof. On top of that, we ended up finding out that their business made over $1 billion already. This shit even got Cid perplexed. I don't even blame him. Apparently there's someone going on a rampage in the city saying that they're Shadow Garden killing everyone, but it seems like Cid already has a good feeling on who it is. He even stole one of the coins that were meant for him. Like, can you lock in, bro? Later on, Shadow actually thought it was Alexia who was killing all these people, but she's actually the one who found out who's doing it. Just before she was gonna deliver the last blow, two more goons pop up and corner her, but then the GOAT pulls up last second like a hero in the dark and handles shit easily. Eventually, the new member of Shadow Garden, which her name is New, ends up putting belt to ass on the rest of the dudes too. Lock in, guys, for real. The school day goes on while Cid and his two side character friends do side character shit, of course. He ends up giving his chocolate to the same shoddy he helped earlier. Got shoddy out here analyzing this shit thinking it's a secret message. Are we serious? New out here yapping her mouth off to Cid, and he ain't even paying attention to a thing she's saying. Cid ends up having to enter this school fighting tournament in which he ends up having to do a sword duel with this random chick. In that split second of them charging in, it already decided the match, with Cid faking, getting hit by a true champion. Wait, what the hell? Bro's really doing all of this just so he can try out his side character moments. Oh nah. Just before she did the last blow, they ended up having to end the match because come on, you see a guy getting knocked out so many times, bro? I don't think he lost so much blood he's about to pass out and die. As he's walking out the infirmary, this pink haired chick that he gave chocolate to ends up talking to him. She also ends up giving him baked goods, but Cid is confused on why she's doing all of this, of course. On top of her asking if they can be friends, and of course he says yes. Obviously, Cid realizes that he messed up being friends with her because she is a named character in this story, but it's too late for that now. Later on in the school day, the whole school ends up being covered in a force field, and it doesn't seem like anyone but Cid noticed, but the issue is that no one can enter / exit the school now. The force field apparently makes it that no one can use their magical abilities inside the school, but the attackers are the only ones that can. But it's already too late because the attackers are in the school, and once again they're calling themselves Shadow Garden. Just before Shoddy was gonna get hit, Cid ends up putting himself right in front of her, knocking himself out too. Oh nah. Of course, he wants to be the first one to get hit because it's very background character-like to do something like this. And low-key, he's not wrong. It gives that vibe. Bro's acting all sentimental and shit, even making Shoddy cry over him, bro. They really left his body there too. They didn't even do anything about this. They really just assumed bro was dead. And shit, if I saw all that blood too, I'll think the same. Cid ends up getting the high ground and continues sniping each one of these people off, bro. Out here moving like it's Fortnite or COD. Bro's just camping, but honestly he was just having fun while also saving Sherry, who has the IQ of a white person in a scary movie, bro. She's making all this noise while all these criminals are roaming this whole building. Can you lock in? Like damn, even walking around with slippers. What? Sherry and Cid end up figuring out what the enemy's plan is, and their plan is to actually use this magic item where there's a large student body, hence where the students are located, just so they can blow shit up. But apparently there's a way to counter this item. Cid ends up going out just to beat some more people up, especially this bozo who uses this net move just for Cid to teleport right inside of it, slapping him across the hall, then kicking him across the room too. Bro was perplexed. Even as he looks around, he notices that the whole classroom is filled with dead bodies.
And now he's gonna add to that count as well.
Cid ends up meeting up with Nu, who gives him a rundown on what's going on throughout the school. Obviously, Cid pretty much has a good idea on what he has to do because of Sherry, and eventually Nu ends up helping him find certain items, and then he eventually leaves. We then see Sherry finally finishing what she was supposed to make, and then she begins to make her way to the auditorium. She ends up throwing her artifact, which then attracts to the other artifact that the guy's holding, which then turns bright and removes the barrier affecting the magic. Blonde Shoddy ended up wasting no time and was beating their ass as soon as they got their magic back, and as soon as she did that, the rest of the students followed. And oh shit, that boy Shadow's here too. The rest of the actual Shadow Gardens are already here in the formation, cold as shit of course, and of course they're just beating everyone up too. The entire school ended up being covered in flames because of this bozo, with Cid also finding out that the assistant principal was behind all of this mess. Okay, side character, I like this. Grandpa ends up giving details on why he did all of this, but honestly we don't care. Only important part is that he's the reason why Sherry's mother is actually dead. They begin to box, but obviously Cid is just a side character, so he's too weak for this fight and gets his ass beat. But then the main MC appears, Shadow, and you know some shit's gonna go down. Grandpa ends up transforming into this old version of Sukuna, like what the hell, you are not like him, and somehow he still loses the fight despite all of his yapping, as Shadow continues piercing his legs and his chest, and eventually Unk lost so easily. But here's the issue, Sherry then walks into the room just to see that her father is already dead, and of course she's not taking this shit lightly. Later on, Sherry and Cid end up talking, and it's clear that she is very depressed and is apparently leaving the school to quote-unquote study abroad, even calling it a secret when Cid asked her exactly what she was gonna do. Cid and Alexia end up meeting up in a mixed bath as she continues yapping her mouth off once again. Shawty even staring at Cid's Excalibur, calling it a small worm, just for bro to stand up, talking about some don't judge a book by its cover. Oh nah. And wait, did bro just spank himself? What are you doing? And she also tried to do the same thing too. Lock in. We end up seeing Beta, Alexia, and Rose sitting right next to each other as they watch the event. And of course, these two do not like each other at all. Time goes on and Cid actually has to fight in this event, but of course he doesn't want to. It leaves him with two choices: to either one, fight and expose his true powers because of the opponent that he'll probably have to face, or two, lose and have his sister beat his ass. Or option 3 that Shadow pulls up and confuse everyone. And I think you guys know what he selected. The lady who he's actually going to fight is actually the Witch of Calamity. As the scene cuts to this old ass dude looking at Beta. Bro, get your horny ass out of here, bro. You're too old for this. And eventually, Shadow and the Witch of Calamity's fight begins. She starts with releasing her magic as Shadow dodges each one of her attacks with straight ease. Bro was just having fun. She ended up trapping the whole arena in her spear blood magic, but then Shadow charges in, destroying each one of them and slashing her. Cid didn't even realize that this wasn't going to end the fight completely, as he's thinking about taking a bath, but then randomly this demonic door will not stop following him, which leaves him no choice but to enter it. We teleport back where Beta and the rest of them are, just to see the rest of Shadow Garden is here already. Despite everything though, everyone ends up entering the sanctuary, and apparently Alpha is here in order to find out the truth about the cult of Diablos. Cid ends up talking with the witch and he ends up freeing her, in which we also learn about the truth of the girls in the Shadow Garden who were once possessed elves. This shit got dark quick. Oh shit, bro's transforming. Ah, never mind, it's too late. Oh nah, what the hell is this? Ew, bro. They end up separating just for this old frog to still get his ass beat, despite the fact that his power continues to grow, while the other half of the ladies end up researching more about the topic of the cult of Diablos. Hey, but regardless of that though, Delta is going dummy. Alpha too, I gotta give them credit. Gramps out here using Shadow Clone Jutsu just for Delta to create a big ass sword, completely smashing all of them in one attack. Meanwhile, Cid and the witch lady end up sitting there while Cid couldn't even get the sword out because he's not worthy. Then we tie back to Alpha's group with their investigation finally being completed. These two really out here playing games just to buy time. Then Captain Baldy ends up making his appearance. This old ass guy using this little elf girl to fight his own battles. Bro, can you not fight for yourself? These two eventually end up fighting, and I'm not even gonna lie, they're moving so quick that me, the witch, and Gramp can't even keep up. They're going crazy. Cid eventually gets cut, but as these two continue yapping, saying that he cannot win this battle, he eventually gets stabbed right in the chest. But it's all a part of his plan. Bro ended up biting her neck, which completely shatters her into pieces. Then Gramps ends up releasing all these copies of the same elf girl just with Cid being done analyzing, finding a way to use his magic. And now he's locked in and is wraps for this old ass geezer. And oh shit, you already know he's gonna do. Oh shit, I guess not. I guess it was too late. Never mind! Honestly, this anime has me on my 2 toes, bro. I thought it was cooked for bro, but he made that epic comeback. It was all a part of his plan. He's moving like Aizen. And damn, sadly, Shawty is gone though. And now these three want to work together too? What's going on? As time moves on, a fighting festival is upon us and Cid wants to join, but he doesn't want to be as Cid or Shadow, in which he ends up transforming into this nonchalant ass dude. Bro even fucked up his back and arms just so he can fit the role easy. This guy could be a wonderful actor, bro. He knows how to do this shit. Also, I'll give credit where it's due. This is a 10 out of 10 transformation. You can't even tell this is Cid or Shadow. Well, Cid's not really Shadow, but you get the point. As soon as he's walking towards the tournament, this girl ends up stopping him, completely roasting him, telling him that he's not cut out for this line of business. And then we have Cid trying to be that anime character who appears to be weak, but is actually secretly the strongest. Now these guys are roasting him too? These guys came out of nowhere, bro. Why do they really care about this conversation. Mind your business. Damn, he even punched him? Was that even necessary? As soon as he goes in for the second punch though, it kind of shows how strong this guy is because he ends up analyzing several options for him to beat the fuck out of this Hulk ass dude. But of course, to keep up his nonchalant personality, he's gonna act like, shit, I don't really care about any of this, you feel me? I just be vibing. Bro's acting like he took 2 hits off that Zai already. And even when he took those 2 hits and got up, the girl ended up feeling sorry for him just for bro to say this sentence 2 times.
It's been a long time since I tasted blood.
And eventually we find out his name is Mundane Man. We later find out that same night that Rose is going to have to marry some dude named Azhat Buttface, but she doesn't really want to marry him because, come on, can we blame him? Look at the fucking name he got, bro. The guy sounds like a bum. We then see Cid preparing for his fight just for this elf girl to walk past him and notice that Cid smells like an elf. And he also finds out that that same girl looks exactly like Alpha. And we also find out that she's actually her sister. But Cid lies, stating that he doesn't know what she's talking about, as she then tries to go in for a blow. But of course, because Cid is the best side character, he pretends like he trips in order to dodge her attack. Now we move on to his next match, in which he's fighting with this Nepo baby with shiny golden armor. Out here looking like a Minecraft character, bro. You got L drip. As their fight begins, Gold Dude goes in for the blow, just for Mundane to dodge it completely and then release his sword. But then bro gets scared out of nowhere, and the only reason bro even dodged it was just because he had to crack his neck. Oh my god, bro. Golden Dude ends up charging up his magic, which surprises the whole arena as he goes on and yaps about how he's a high power level, and yeah, just pretty much talking about some bullshit. Just for Mundane to completely knock his ass out in an instinct, bro took all that damage with only a sneeze. He sneezed. All he did was sneeze. How did you lose? Purple Lady ends up confronting Mundane, claiming that she misjudged him, and now she's warning him, saying that if he doesn't tee up and lock in for the future matches, he is going to get his ass beat. In that same moment, Mundane ends up taking a piece off of his armor, and that shit was able to damage the floor, bro. Bro's using heavier armor just so he could control his power and not go all out. He's out here moving like Goku in that one scene. And did she just crack her neck? Yeah, we're just gonna move on. Oh yeah, I also forgot to mention that Rose pretty much got accused of attacking Azhat, and now she's on the run, but we'll talk more about that later though. We also find out that Rose is hiding in the underground tunnels. Oh shit, she good? She's damn near looking like she's clinging on to life. As she continues to venture down the underground tunnels, her curse continues to get worse, in which she ends up hearing something in the distance, just to see this. This guy Shadow is really playing this beautiful tune on this piano underground? Shit, I don't know how he got that piano down there, and I don't even know how he found her, but I won't even lie with you, hearing this music, it just all makes sense, you feel me? It's an aura thing, you guys might not understand, but yeah, let me move on. Shadow ends up offering Rose the power to control her fate, in which he gives it to her, and it ends up removing her curse completely. And oh nah, Shadi's already moving different. Let's lock in now. So now we're about to get into the final moments. Beta and Alexia end up seeing Rose, but of course Alexia was not having that shit and instantly charges straight at Rose, but sadly she got her ass beat. Cid's sister ends up confronting him due to him avoiding her 24/7, and I'm not gonna lie, I don't know about this sibling love. Like shit, I got siblings myself, but Shadi is out here trying to kill bro. She needs to relax. She ends up inviting Cid to watch her during the festival so he can learn a few things. She ends up wanting Cid to pull up, in which she also makes it clear that if he doesn't pull up, he will die. He makes it there, and crazy enough, his seat is right next to Iris, and he ends up having to sit next to her as she continues on apologizing for beating his ass earlier. Mundane Man fight continues on, and now he's beginning to fight with the purple haired chick. As soon as it begins, she charges in trying to attack him just for him to parry it in time. She goes in for a more series of attacks just for him to dodge each and every single one of the attacks as she was dropping. Even when she thought she hit him, he starts moving a lot quicker than she could even imagine, making it way harder for her to keep up in the first place. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, he's easily going to beat her ass. They stopped moving for a second as she waits for Mundane to attack. Just for in that instinct, he dodges her attack again and gets his sword ready. And not gonna lie, yeah, This shit ended a lot quicker than I was expecting. I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting some crazy shit. You can't hold me onto it. She was talking shit earlier and now she's losing to the same guy she was talking shit about. Lock in. She ends up meeting up with him again as the match ends and she admits her defeat. And it's just insane to me that these two really went from enemies to her looking up to him now, and even her inviting him to work with her. We also find out that this elf girl's name is Beatrix the War Goddess, and oh nah, he fucked up already. The final days of the tournament is here as Cid enjoys some coffee with Iris, while we see these two meat munchers on the side jealous. Beatrix ends up pulling up, still looking for Alpha, as she ends up praising Cid, saying that she has high hopes for him, even making a whole big scene about it, and now everyone knows that Cid's sister is actually the one that's in the tournament. I'm not even gonna lie, when it came to this scene, bro, the side character vibes were not there, bro. He was giving some main character vibes, but he eventually brings himself back together. And damn, sad to see Rose's father still off of them drugs. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know what was in that weed, but I hope you get better, Unc. But moving on from that though, the fight is finally here. Mundane Man versus Iris. And we already know how this shit is gonna end, but hey, we might as well enjoy it. As soon as the fight begins, she stopped. She literally thought her head already was cut off in that same instinct of the match beginning, but it just seems that she was already panicking and getting scared of Mundane's man aura, instantly backing away from him. Rose ends up pulling up, as well as Shadow Garden also pulling up as well. As Iris' match continues though, she continues on panicking, thinking that she got hit, but it's just the aura of her opponent. She's literally shitting bricks right now, and shit, I would too. Even the crowd talking shit about her, and now she's charging up. Okay, maybe we're gonna see some shit now. You're telling me from the moment this match begins, she really thought he already had his sword out, but bro hasn't even released his sword from the beginning of the match? Mundane eventually stops the attack that she was charging up without even moving damn near an inch, as she just completely gets slumped on the ground and loses the match. I'm not gonna lie, this was so embarrassing compared to the other matches. Truly. Wait.
Calm down! Rose, what are you doing?
Out of nowhere though, Mundane ends up breaking through the window, and now I'm just confused on what the hell is going on right now. Just to find out, Mundane was actually Shadow all along. Wait, what? Why is Beatrix trying to fight him now, bro? What is going on? Now it's looking like it's going to be Beatrix versus Shadow, but it's kind of obvious that Shadow was holding back. Out of nowhere though, they both back off of each other just for Shadow to take one step and disappear. But then he teleports right behind her, but because his aura is too big, she ends up noticing instantly. And I'm not even gonna lie, despite her even noticing that shit, she is losing this fight so badly that she can't even keep up with bro like everyone else in the tournament. You guys really need to tee up. Wait, Iris? Didn't she just get her ass beat, bro? What is she doing now? She really thinks she could take on the MC, the main character of the series? You need to get the fuck out of here. Bro, get your mans, bro. Who is he, bro? Get him out. But oh nah, apparently it looks like she means business, because she ends up releasing this big ass powerful sword that even Shadow notices, but obviously it's not enough. Their fight ends up turning into a 2v1, and yet these two still are too slow and can't even keep up with Shadow. Iris continues trying to get a blow off Shadow, but it's impossible for both of them to do so. Their fight goes across the kingdom onto the train tracks as Shadow switches his weapon just to use these two bad boys. You already know what's gonna happen. We tie back to Rose talking with Alpha, in which she gives her two choices: join Shadow Garden or move solo, and eventually she sides with them. We then see Iris and Beatrix, who are finding it extremely hard to keep up with Shadow, and it damn near feels impossible. And it's also clear that Shadow is still holding back in their match, and damn, she really waited for bro. I'm actually surprised. These three are just continuing destroying the whole capital, bro, and still, like I just said, they can't keep up with him. But hey, I'll give credit where it's due. Beatrix is actually adapting to each one of Shadow's attacks slowly and surely, while Iris continues to just swing her sword like a straight idiot. Shadow ends up blocking her attack while still focusing on Beatrix. Iris then charges in, throws her sword away, and charges in blindly, just for Beatrix to charge up her attack, but none of it works, with Iris explaining that it's over for Shadow and that he needs to give up because the whole capital is against him, as we hear these words.
Run away? Who's running? Running where? Why would I run?
This guy Shadow ends up surrounding the whole area with his magic. Truly, he is the honor one, as these two can't even fathom what is about to happen to them. And as these two listen, they hear these words.
I am Atomy.
I mean, this time it really is just for show.
This was all kind of a little prank with Shadow. He wasn't really gonna blow up the whole kingdom, and he was just trying to have some fun. But sadly, these two don't really look at it that way because they quite literally just got humiliated, got their asses beat. Also with Iris getting her ass beaten twice in the same hours. I kind of feel bad for her. Now she's losing her mind. Relax! Later on, Rose finally begins her training to join the Shadow Garden, as these girls are not being nice with her at all, bro. Damn. At least we know that she's gonna get stronger because of it. As Shadow finishes playing this song, it really has me thinking, maybe the friends that we made along the way were the embassy in the shadows. But yeah, this anime was truly peak. If you guys like this video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe if new. And thank you guys so much for the recent support. And yeah, Lego!
Bye. Have a beautiful time.